Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're checking out what if Syria formed an empire. Now, it's a little complicated right now in Syria because the civil war is technically still going on, but ignoring all that, as you can see, they have a very small coastline. Like, it's very small. Like, they only have a little bit of a coastline. So, if Lebanon and Turkey wanted to, they can just do that. So instead of letting that happen, they declare war on Lebanon, surprisingly enough. And yeah, it worked out pretty well because Lebanon's pretty weak right now due to a certain country that it borders to the south. Not naming names. Israel. So with that, they've just expanded their territory, but you can't really tell that much. Kind of looks the same. They kind of look the same, but they now have more coastal areas. It used to look something like this. Now where do they go? Well, they have an option. They could either go to Israel, or they can do both Israel and Palestine at the same time. Well, that's what they'll do. And yeah, it went pretty well because they get fully annexed into the Syrian Empire. Yeah, this is gonna look weird. Okay, so now they have more coast, like along over here. Now where do they go? Well, they can go after Jordan now. So yeah, they take over Jordan with relative ease. The newly acquired territory looks something like this. It looks something like that. I don't know what's going on over here. So now what do they do with all this land? They go after, Cyprus. Yeah, okay, they just get fully annexed. Yeah, I'm not even gonna explain on what just happened, but now they have more land. Now where do they go from here? Well, they invaded Egypt. Just pretend they're invading over this way. Just pretend. Just pretend, and they then invade down to here. And then the peace treaty, we see, like, the Sinai Peninsula get fully annexed. which means the Suez Canal belongs to. Wait, just to make it official, let's do something like this. There we go. So that includes the Suez Canal. There we go. So they expanded a little bit into Africa. Now where do they go from here? Well, they have three options. Turkey, Iraq, or Saudi Arabia. Which is the weakest? It's Iraq. So they start their invasion. Iraq. Turkey just joined. Kuwait joined. Saudi Arabia joined. Oh. Iran also joined. Okay. Well, that was certainly interesting. Let's look at the peace treaty. Alright, so in this peace treaty we see that all this goes over to Kuwait, this goes over to Saudi Arabia, this will go over to Turkey, this will go over to Iran, and the rest of this will go to Syria, making their empire a little weird looking, but they're okay with it. As now they border Kuwait, and they border Iran. And this border just became weirder. So let's just put in these lands that they got to. Now where do they go from here? Well, they form an alliance with Saudi Arabia, officially making the Arab League. I guess we can call it the Arab League. So they sign a treaty with Saudi Arabia dividing up Kuwait, which goes something like this. So in the treaty, it will look something like this, where Saudi Arabia will get this land, and the rest of this will go over to Syria. No boy, Syria looks weird. And now let's color in Saudi Arabia. with their new land. And now, let's see where they go next. Oh. Now this area over here looks weird. They're gonna try and fix that. They're invading Iran. Now, we'll get what? So it turns out they called it Pakistan and Afghanistan on this war. Let's see. So, Syrian troops already stationed over here will go in. Even going up around the Turkish border, meeting up with Azerbaijan and Armenia, who really don't really help. They just sit back and watch, as Iran is just getting fumbled right now. Alright, so Afghanistan and Pakistan send their troops in from the east, I think. No, the west. Yeah, this is the east. And yeah, they even go around into over here, which is not good. Now Saudi Arabia jumps in, also invading Qatar and Bahrain. And for some reason they invade all of these guys, and I'll just do this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's just look at a peace treaty of Iran. So in this peace treaty, we actually see Syria getting a lot of land over here. And then Afghanistan will get this land, like all the way up to here. And Pakistan, well, they just get this area over here. Then Saudi Arabia will get this land up to this area. And a puppet state is formed. Also, yeah, okay. Hold on, let me just get rid of this. And oh boy, Syria expanded a lot. Alright. And with that, the empire's done. Hold on, let me just add these areas over here. Alright, there we go. Let's start off with the Syrians. Hold on, let me just get this area real quick. Boom. By the way, guys, I stayed up all night long. No sleep. Hope I get insomnia. What? Alright, there's the Syrians. Alright, let's get the Saudis. By doing this. Also, hold on, let me get this one too. Alright. I like doing this because it actually shows you right here, there. This actually shows you which countries are which. And it shows you which one, if they're allies. And if it's the puppet state, I'll do this instead. I'll start doing this more often, actually. Alright. Let's get Afghanistan here. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.